Look, what I'm about to tell you isn't something that happened to me directly, but I experienced it up close because it was my dad. And honestly, it's one of those things that changes the way you see everything. At that time, my dad worked distributing medicine. He traveled a lot by road, mostly in the north of the country. It was his routine, he was already used to it. But that year, in 2013, he had to go to an area that already had a reputation for being really dangerous. That day he left like any other day. He was with a coworker who helped him a lot because the job is tough and he wasn't that young anymore. He was already getting older. His trip was completely normal on the highway. Heat, tiredness, the usual. Until they stopped at a store intending to grab a snack for a while, and that's when everything fell apart for them. According to what he told us later, as soon as they got out, within seconds, several masked men came from the street. There was barely enough time to react just to raise their hands. They took everything from them. The truck, the money they had, their cell phones, everything. They subdued both of them and put them in another truck, tied their hands and feet, and put bags over their heads. My dad said that at that moment, your body just shuts down. You don't even know what to do. You just feel how they pull you, how they push you, and suddenly you have no control over anything. But the worst part was when they threw them in the back because it wasn't right. They were alone. My dad felt like he was on top of other bodies, people who weren't moving anymore. That's when true fear struck him, not just from seeing what would happen, but realizing he might not make it out. His companion was completely in shock. He didn't speak, he didn't react. But my dad wasn't like that. He started talking, begging, saying whatever was necessary. He has always told us something that really stuck with me. When you're in a situation like that, you don't think about money or pride or anything else. To see your family again. He even made up that he had heart problems, even though it wasn't true. But in that moment, you say whatever it takes as long as they don't hurt you. They kept them like that for a whole day, an entire day, without knowing where they were, without seeing anything, just hearing voices, footsteps, doors, and that uncomfortable silence you feel when you know your life depends on someone else. And even though it sounds strange to say it, they didn't hurt them physically, but they didn't ask for ransom either. Nothing. They just kept them. And when they let them go, they told them to thank the girl. And then, as if nothing had happened, they left them on the side of the road where a man who sold cheese picked them up and he dropped them off in a nearby town. That's where another part began, just as hard, because they had nothing, no money, no phone, nothing. My dad had to borrow a cell phone to call them. I remember that call perfectly. As soon as we heard his voice, we all started crying because we knew he was okay. He just kept saying he wanted to come back. They had to borrow money to pay for the bus ride back. Just like that, with nothing, they came home. But the story didn't end there. We filed a report, and the prosecutor's office, specialized in anti-kidnapping, started working on the case. What we didn't know was everything they were doing behind the scenes. They tapped the phones of people close to us because they told us that many times it's not strangers. And little by little, they started to find things, conversations, strange movements, names that didn't add up. And that's when the truth came out. One of the people behind it all was a neighbor from around there, along with another neighbor who was very jealous of my dad because he was doing well. And not only that, a cousin was involved too, along with others who were into the same thing. When they realized there were suspicions about them, they disappeared. For a while, they left the house, but the most shameless thing was what they did next. They came back as if nothing had happened, as if nobody knew. That's when the prosecutor's office took action. They came, arrested them, and took them away. And there were still family members who went and made a scene, saying they should be released, that they hadn't done anything to anyone. Was there chaos at the prosecutor's office? After experiencing something like that, you realize you don't have to owe anything for something bad to happen to you. Sometimes you're just in the wrong place or surrounded by the wrong people. My dad came home that same night with nothing, just the clothes he was wearing. He came in, and honestly, he didn't say much. He just let himself be hugged. And from that day on, I learned that envy is more dangerous than it seems. If you also have a story you want to share, send it to me, to my cornel, to my email, or any of my social media. I'll read it as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching the video. Honestly, it really helps a lot. If you like, comment or share it. And if you enjoy this kind of content, you can subscribe. I really appreciate it. See you next time.